want me to shoot my guy around? That's a fine. Shoot him. Shoot him down. Shoot him down. Roger that. Try to steer clear from you. Try to steer clear. Okay, you go. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Fox 3 Phoenix channel. It's a fine morning when you find yourself in this as your office place. And today we are learning how to fly the F-5 Tiger. It's been a while since I brought a new plane onto the channel just because I had a daughter, and honestly I was so freaking busy. I was just trying to create enough content to stay alive. And I think that we've reached the next level to the point where I can help start learning new planes. When you get these new planes, it's not as easy as just go sit in the new plane, buy it, and go. It takes a lot of work to actually learn what you're doing and start getting good at it. So anyway, if you're really acute, you will notice that we also have the new Sinai map. So I'm not sure if I pronounced that properly, but it looks really good. I mean, look at that. This is Cairo International Airport. So, anyways, we're in the F-5 Tiger, and we are going to go try to turn this thing on. So first step is we go down here, and we're going to go turn our battery on. That's always a nice place to start. Then we'll do our left and right generators. Oops, there we go. There we go. And after that, we're going to have to go turn on the fuel boost pumps. So it's these guys right here. See if I can zoom in on them. Sometimes try to use track IR just to kind of show a little bit more when we're doing these intro videos. And then from there, we have to go turn on our air power. So I was bummed that we have to go do communications with the ground again, but whatever, it's all good.
Connect ground air supply.
And we'll wait for him to connect it.
Ground air supply is now connected.
Okay, at least it's in English and not Russian, so I don't have to be like, oh boy, what are they saying? And then after that, you're going to go apply it. And from here, you're going to see the left engine begin spooling up, right? And this
Air is now applied.
area, yep, there we go. All right, now that it is up to 10%, we'll go to the left side down here, click the engine start button. And now that that's happened, we'll hit left shift home, and that will bring our left engine to idle and should begin spooling that thing up, and I'm sure you can hear it. And so things are, oops, almost went a little too much there. Had to pull that throttle back just a little bit. Now that we are have the left engine on, we get to repeat the whole entire process for the right air engine. And so you'll see we'll go back into our comms menu, talk to the ground crew, air supply, and apply. And you'll see the right engine will begin spooling up just a little bit.
Air is now applied.
There it goes, and wait till it gets to 10%. And then we'll go over here and we'll turn on the right engine starter. Alright, and then set that throttle to idle, and we'll be good. Now I'm using left shift home and right shift home. You will have to map your throttles to whatever button you want, but that's what I'm using. Alright, now that both of those guys are on, we will go disconnect from the external power, or air supply, excuse me. And that way they don't yell at us when we start moving on, because if you guys have been watching this channel, they've yelled at us before. Wouldn't be the first time, probably won't be the last. And then finally,
Ground air supply is now disconnected.
let's close this canopy and you should be able to hear things just a little better. Alright. Serenity of the cockpit. It is awesome. Alright, so we're going to go over here and turn on our O2. It's on the bottom right there. And then pitot heat as well. I don't really think it actually does much in this game, but you know, whatever. We're going to auto tank balance to the left. And the reason we do that is from what I understand, the F5, as I've been learning, it has a bigger left tank, so they bias it to the left so that your fuel drain's better there. Let's see, let's go to RWR. You can see this is my RWR here. I'm going to turn on the power. This is it right here, that little circular gauge. So really excited. It looks like it's a solid step up from the MiG-21s. MiG-21 entered service in 1959. This plane entered service in 1962, if my sources are correct. So we've got that going. We're going to turn our gun sights power on, and I leave it at missile. There's more stuff you can do here, and we'll dive into it a little bit further in some of the videos if anyone's interested. But right now, I just leave it in missile mode, and that works well for me. I'm not a big fan of the gyros for their gun sights. I prefer manual gun sights. I don't know if there's a lot of people that have different thoughts on it, but from everybody I know, and it's what I like to do, I like to keep it manual, so that's what I do. Alright, and then let's see here. Next step is we're going to turn on our radio. If you can see it, I'm trying to zoom in for you guys here. Turn it on to both. There we go. Radio is on. We're going to uncage this backup ADI. Don't ask me why they do it this way, but they do it this way. You have to uncage it. Come on. There it goes. Alright, you want it to set right there. Okay, now that it's uncaged and ready to go, we're good. And we're going to do the radar to standby it, and the radar is down here. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to turn it to standby. Alright, so this center screen, you'll see it needs time to warm up, and then it's going to eventually turn on here. And then we have pitch and yaw dampers. Apparently, this thing's very unstable. For whatever reason, you have to do it. You can already see my radar is beginning to warm up. So that's on. Now we're going to go turn our countermeasures on, and we have chaff for the first time, which is cool. And then flares, obviously, we've had those before in MiG-21. So, but now we have chaff. Now you can change it so when you use your chaff button, you're only firing chaff or you're only firing flares. We're just doing a simple intro video, so I'm gonna, make sure that hey, it's just both. It's fine for right now. I'll worry about other details later on, depending on who we're fighting. One of the things you want to always do is make sure your speed brake's in. You can see ours is not right now, so let's go fix that. Alright, I have it mapped to my throttle, so you guys will probably want to do the same thing. Alright, all of our right hand indicators here, we want them to be in the neutral position. They are. And then let's see if I can zoom in on this for you guys without the thing freaking out. IFF mode standby. Alright, good. Now these are all your lighting switches here. You can turn them on as you see fit, whatever makes you happy. It's daytime right now, so probably not going to see really much lighting. That's the way it goes. But at night, it will be very cool. Now, here's to the right, we have our pylon transfer tank and our center pylon tank. So, and by center pylon, I mean center of the fuselage, excuse me. We don't have any, as you can see, we're flying clean today. So, I'm not going to actually turn those on, but if I did, it would look like this. And now we'd be drawing fuel from the pylons. And so, yeah, we'll deal with that one day when we have it. And that is it. Now we are going to go spool up and taxi over to the runway. You'll want to get your nose wheel steering button mapped, because it's just how you fly with this thing. Or taxi. You can see, press the button, and then we can just turn very easily. It's really nice, actually. I'm used to the brake steering from the MiGs, which, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just a little different. So looking at Cairo International Airport, pretty neat. Alright, that's the long taxiway over there. God, Cairo, this map looks so good. I hope you guys enjoy this when I get this thing up in the air. It's going to be really fun. Alright, here we are in the VR mode. So, really excited about this airplane. It's going to be more of a dogfighter than the MiGs. And before actually I start talking about that, let's go take this plane off. Alright, so I'm applying the brakes, getting everything set up so that way I'm ready to go. We're going to go to full afterburner, and when they hit afterburner, we'll release the brakes because they can't actually hold this plane back anyway. You'll be able to see with the fuel flow gauge. Oh, there they go, both of them on, and we've released. And we had a little bit of a nose wheel steering problem there, so I fixed it real quick. We get rudder authority at about 50 knots. See, we're pulling through 100 now, and at about 150 in clean configuration, we can begin pulling back on the stick to lift up. Yep, there we go, and it came right off the ground. Gears up. Flaps are auto, which is really cool, and of course we're going to do our signature Fox 3 Phoenix channel. Way too early roll after takeoff and have fun. But yes, flaps are auto, which I find is really cool. It just takes one thing away from me that I don't need to manage. So we're going to go pull up and see how this thing does. It's not as powerful as the MiGs in terms of thrust to weight ratio. But it's, it's actually a good dogfighter from what I've understood, and we're going to explore that. It's only got two tiny little engines that make 3,500 pounds of thrust on mil power each, and then 5,000 with afterburners. So it makes a total of 10,000 pounds of thrust with a thrust to weight ratio of 0.64, whereas the MiGs we've flown at 19 and 21 are in the 0.8 range. So it doesn't quite pull like they do, but it actually is faster though than the MiG-19. So let's come back down here and let's do a flyby of Cairo International. Oh yeah, we're pushing her hard. You hear all that wind? Oh yeah. I've actually done a full barrel roll at these type of speeds before and ripped a wing off, so I have to be a little careful. When you see 600 knots indicated, that's pretty fast. Now look at that map. Oh my gosh, look how fast this thing can rotate. Like I said, she's supposed to be more of an actual dogfighter than the 19 and the 21. Maybe not necessarily the 19. The 19's pretty decent at it, but the 21 for sure. So it's not as fast, doesn't have, and the other thing I'm a little sad about, it doesn't have the weapons the 21 had. We're back to having only 2 air-to-air heat-seeking missiles, but I'm excited to try out the AIM-9Bs and the Ls, because that's what this thing gets. It might also get the Ps, we'll try that out. You can see we're coming down here. Let's go do one more buzz of the airport. Right down the runway. moving. 650 knots. Oh yeah. So we'll go into a climb here. God, I think it's freaking maneuver. It's a little lightweight, maneuverable fighter. So we're going to go up high now, because part of what we do when we introduce these new planes is I like to, you know, show you how well it can climb and do all this maneuvering. And then I like to bring it up and let's see what we can hit in terms of a Mach number in this clean configuration. My goal today is probably like Mach 1.3. It can do a little more than that, but we're not going to just sit there at afterburner for 20 minutes trying to achieve it and figuring out which is the perfect altitude. We'll just, you know, go from there. We're at 18,000, 19,000 feet right now. So I'm going to gain a little speed and then we're going to do another climb. Brought it out of afterburner for just a second. See how she handles. Basically, from what I've understood in this plane, when you're fighting, you're in afterburners because you just need all the power it can give you. But if you're cruising, you can do mil power. So I put the burners back in. You can see we were building up to 400 knots, which is great. Now I can do a nice slow climb. See how she does here. And by slow climb, I mean slow rotation. Full burners. I was wondering if she'd stall out, but she didn't. Alright, pretty cool. As you can see, we're coming up on 29,000 feet. I'll try and get it up to 30,000 feet here, and then we'll see if we can go supersonic. And she's a little bit slow here. Let's see, the nose wants to come down. Definitely going to have to trim out some stuff here. Look at those auto flaps. The slats are forward. Now they're coming back as we're building up speed. That's really cool. Still have lots of fuel. You can see we're, I think, at 1,400 gallons. I'm hoping that's gallons. Maybe that is pounds. I don't know. 1,400 pounds seems rather light. I'll have to look into that. As you can tell, I'm just getting used to this plane. I've flown it before, but it's relatively new. And like I said, these things take a while to quote-unquote master. So I want to get up to 30,000. That's why I've got the nose pulled up. You can see we're at 300 knots. Mach 0.75. You can see the Mach gauge is right above the speedometer there. It's like in the middle of it, but above where the needle is. Coming through Mach 0.885. Come on, baby. Hit Mach 1. All clean now. Sinai looks really good. It's just a regular old sunny day here, but Sinai. I'll figure out what it is later. But we punched through Mach 1. And I don't see any lag. It seems to be totally fine. A lot of people were worried with all the buildings and everything that their systems are lagging out. You know, I got a decent computer. It's got a 3080 graphics card, and it's the AMD Ryzen 5950 16-core processor, and it handles this pretty much no problem. And obviously I've turned the graphics up to their maximum abilities. Let's see here, we're coming up on Mach 1.2. See if we can squeeze out just a little bit more out of her. And if you find the perfect altitude, you probably get more like Mach 1.4, 1.5. I think it goes over 1,000 miles per hour top speed. if you are at the optimum altitude, like I said. We're just here to have a little fun and explore it. And on the way back to the airport, I'll definitely go dive down there and go show you it. Alright, we're at 1.3 now. You want to see if we can squeeze out a little more? Looking at our fuel. When we get to 1,000 pounds. Yeah, that is in pounds. When we get to 1,000 pounds, I'll bring it down. Man, that's such a little amount of fuel. I know, like, I was watching Growling Sidewinder in the F-15 Eagle, which is a Strike Eagle, which is ridiculous. I'm going to try and cheat here and get 1.4. But I think he has, like, 30,000 pounds, and we have, like, 3 at most. Ridiculous. Alright, I'm pulling the power just a little bit because I don't want to rip my wings off here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think with that red thing at the 7 on the speedometer, that's probably a you shouldn't go faster than this sign because bad things will happen to this airplane. You can hear all the wind. It's flying like a champ, though. Down to 10,000 feet. Got a nice little layer of clouds below us. So now I'm at full military power, which is basically everything she's got without the afterburners. Pulls pretty hard. Still can't seem to get those vapor trails, but that maybe have something to do with the environment. We'll see. Sometimes the MiG would do it all the time, sometimes not so much. Bring it down again. Let's go get a little lower, and we'll do some zooming to the airport. And just see how this thing does in terms of frame rates. And just, it's an awesome map, so I want to explore it some. You guys tell me if you think the frame rate's pretty bad. It's definitely working a little harder when you get down to the ground. Can you imagine living down there and there's this F-5 just buzzing over you? That's not the airport we want. But it is a military air base. I think this is Cairo up here. Never been there, but it looks really nice. Ooh, stay over those power lines. Shoot. Man, it looks good. Can't wait to do some dogfights over this. power plant or something. Man, I break in so many of these guys' windows. Awesome. And here we are at the airport. Woohoo! Alright, we need to bleed off some of the speed, so let's get up here. One more pull. God, that looks good. Alright. Pop the little flares and chaff because I can. Alright, slow it down, cutting power. Gonna come in quickly on this runway. Gonna have to bleed off some speed. Let's do a nice turn here. Tight one, pull some G's. Still going 400 knots, so we gotta slow it down. Get the speed brake deployed if we need to. Yep, we're at 300, 250. Auto flaps. God, I love that. It's just ridiculous. Just making sure. Yep, we're good. Get that speed brake out. I want to get to 200 before I drop those gears, and so we need to slow down fast. I've got everything pulled to idle. Hoping I don't have to go do a go-around. Come on. Putting the nose up just a little bit. There we go. Alright, now we'll drop our gears. I don't want those coming down and then getting broken. Alright, all three are down. Flaps down. And she should touch down at about 140, 150 in that range. Here we go. And then we have a drag chute, which you gotta use because that's awesome. Look at that thing. You can just barely see it. And that's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is your host, Governor of the Fox 3 Phoenix channel. We're going to be dogfighting this thing, so stay tuned for some more videos. And oh, actually, I got a cool way. So no, hold on. We got one more thing before we exit. Let's bring this thing to a complete stop. Use my wheel brakes a little bit. All right. And shut her down with the fuel cutoff switches. And then the only way to get out of this plane is... Oh, I'm going to make the people that own this thing so mad. There's our parachute. And that's why we shut the engines off, so we didn't get blown away by the exhaust. Alright, now you guys have seen it. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.